Hey everyone, welcome back to Verified Gains. Welcome back. Hope everyone is having a good weekend. So I cannot believe this, but actually this is my second time recording because the first time, for some reason, the microphone disconnected. So it was actually a pretty, uh, it was going well, and then the microphone disconnected. So here we go, second time. Now I'm gonna make this video pretty short. Actually, the first video, maybe I was talking a little too much, so I'm gonna keep it straight to the points. Um, so starting with Bitcoin, last time we were sort of talking about how we had to break, through the $106,000 resistance line and resume, upward price action. So actually, on the first video, I was making some color changes here, but and that's why I already changed the color of this $106,000 line to green to depict a support line. And basically, things are looking good. So we had the low on the 22nd over here. We broke above the $106,000 line, retested on the 27th, and please remember this date, 27th, because it's going to be key when I talk about the Solana chart later on. And we're starting to resume back upwards. So this is very bullish. Now, what are some catalysts that's going to really drive the price upwards? Because, to be quite honest, the month of June has been a disappointment. A lot of people are very excited about the start of a crypto summer. A lot of people are still very much hopeful, but June alone, not so impressive. It was very disappointing. Okay. However, I think things are looking bullish overall. So the pi cycle top indicator is looking pretty good. And by the way, just a very quick note on this correlation with the Bitcoin's price correlation with the empty money supply, which a lot of influencers are talking about. Um, I've looked at the charts myself, and when you sort of extrapolate the data to September of this year, like mid-September, a lot of the charts were showing a possible Bitcoin price to 120, $130,000, but I actually think that it's going to go up much higher than that. I think it's at least going to hit this green trend line over here, which is the 350-day moving average times two, which right now stands at $170,000. And historically, by the time we actually hit the pi cycle top, it tends to be even above it. So I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin would hit $200,000 this bull cycle. Okay. That said, let's move on to the Solana chart, and I'll kind of explain. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I actually talked about the catalyst. So that is actually going to be if the federal chair decides to cut the interest rate in July. Okay, so that's going to be a huge catalyst when it comes to the Bitcoin price. And if they decide to cut the interest rate, we're going to start seeing some explosive movement to the upside. All right, moving on to Solana. Okay, so Solana, very similar to Bitcoin, however, some key differences. So after hitting the low on the 22nd, we actually retested the resistance at $148, was rejected. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make here is on the Bitcoin chart earlier, if you look on the 27th, actually that is the date in which we actually held above the $106,000 support line and resumed upwards. Okay. So I said to myself, okay, well, we're not in an altcoin season just yet, so this must be a bear trap, as in, although there was a likelihood that, we would retest $126, since the Bitcoin price actually held above $106,000, I said to myself, okay, maybe this is a good time to dollar cost average into Solana. So I ended up purchasing more Solana on the 27th. And then yesterday, things turned out pretty good as we broke above $148. However, as of now, I'm not going to change the color to green. It's not a support line just yet. I would like to see a possible retest and or a consolidation above $148, and then at that point I'll confidently switch this over to a support line. Um, that said, this morning I ended up buying more Solana because I really like this. The fact that we're remaining above it and we're starting to form this green candle. Finally, last but not least, let's talk about Popcat. So on the red days, I bought. Um, and in my previous video, I said, I'm not going to draw a support line over here. Meme coins in general, they're very unpredictable, very volatile. I didn't really see a point in drawing a support line. Look, I'm all in Popcat. I'm going all the way. If there's a red day, I'm buying. Okay, I'm buying. Um, and this morning, earlier, it was actually a red candle, so I ended up buying. But it looks like it may end up as a green candle for the day. Things are looking very good for Popcat as well. A couple of things to note. Number one, Bitcoin is holding. Number two, Solana is going up, and that means that Popcat is also going to go up. I really like the fact that around the 25-cent mark, price held. So just for visualization purposes, let me actually draw a line over here. Okay, so it held, okay, at 25 cents, went up, retested, held, and now we're going back up. And this type of double bottom pattern is actually usually very bullish, whether you're talking about traditional equities, meme coin, crypto, in general. And I'm very bullish. So, I'm not buying any other meme coins right now. Popcat is the only thing that I'm consistently buying on the red day. Things are looking very good. Guys, remember, if you're into Solana and Popcat, please subscribe and like and comment down below. I want to hear your opinion. I actually don't see a whole lot of Popcat influencers on YouTube. I don't think anybody talks about Popcat. I mean, there's a good community on Twitter X, but on YouTube, I barely hear anybody talk about Popcat, and I don't know if it's being, artificially suppressed, but I feel like it's gonna be one of the best coins this cycle. I would say top five, okay, top five, and somewhere in there, I hope Dog with Hat is in there. Um, Turbo is another thing that nobody talks about for some reason, but I'm pretty bullish on. And then the rest, like Pepe, Doge, things like that. But anyways, thanks for listening and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.